battle plan. Let me see if I can flip this around to see where my screen is. Edit. And no. I'm working on a battle plan. Woke up at 4 o'clock this morning. I know there's a 4 in that number, and that's just wrong. One of my kids is not thriving in a topic, in a subject, math, actually calculus. And I woke up at 4 o'clock this morning because I realized that I needed to eat my own advice. I am mentoring a homeschool mom, actually a few inside of our Homeschool Olympians, and we're talking about math and what to do when your child is confused and they don't love math anymore. And I woke up at 4 o'clock this morning because one of my kids is taking a college level calculus class. And he's gotten a third of the way through and is not thriving. And I was like, okay, I need to create a battle plan for him. So I wanted to let you know that this is coming, and it is, if you're interested in it, shoot me an email. It will be super low cost for you to participate. If you're a homeschooling Olympian, it's part of being a homeschool Olympian. But what it is the ability to identify something that's not working. In this case, the way that my son is attacking calculus is not working. And so what I need to do is to pull together resources, teachings, tutors, and that kind of thing to help him succeed. And it's not just turn the page and read the lesson. Because if you're like me, now I took one look at calculus when I was in school, and I actually tried to take calculus. And when I asked a question, the instructor read me the directions from the textbook and then basically patted me on the head, and I dropped the class. I'm like, if you can't teach me in a way that I can learn, then I'm not going to waste my time. And that's where I left calculus, was with a professor that did not love the subject. So 4 o'clock in the morning, I crack open calculus and I look at it and I start reading, pleasure reading. 4 o'clock in the morning, it's functions and models and limits and derivatives, differential rules, application of integrals, integration. And I looked at this and I immediately saw, okay, first of all, I don't know the vocabulary. So I cannot just merge into this topic and teach my son what he needs to know, not without a lot of study. So instead, I was talking with my husband. It's like, we need to design a battle plan. We need to attack this in a way that is going to help him thrive. And so this tactic of creating a battle plan works for any subject. If your child is struggling with fractions, if they're struggling with history, if they're struggling with writing or anything in mathematics, anything in science or mechanics or dance, you can create a battle plan. And that's what I have coming. And it's going to be a pre-recorded mini series on how do you identify something that is not working and then step away from it and design a success path so that not only does your child learn, but they get the life lessons out of it as well. Because at the end of the day, it's not important, hear me, it's not important whether or not my son masters calculus. It's not important. What's important is that he sees that he's stuck. He's in a boat that's half filled with water, and he's taking on water quick. And if he doesn't do something, that boat's going to sink. So the life lesson is recognizing when you're in trouble and that you need a rescue, right? This is the lesson that he is going to get out of this season in calculus. When to ask for help. Oh, hindsight's 2020. He should have asked for help weeks ago, but that's okay. He can see that clearly, and he's actually articulating that well. This is the the point where I knew I was in trouble. This is the point where I knew I was floundering, but I tried to do it my way. So, life lessons. Number one, recognize when you're taking on water. Number two, how do you step back and design a path that gets you out of a boat that's sinking? This is like life. This is like a college level AP class in troubleshooting when you're in over your head. When we're teaching our kids, when we're homeschooling, it doesn't matter what we're teaching them. It really doesn't. It matters that we're teaching them how to learn and how to design a success path. Oh, they may not master that until well into their adult years. That's okay. We just are training them how to identify that they're in trouble and then how to seek expert help and then to apply the plan, right? I've been walking again for the last couple days where I used to be an avid walker and would walk 5, 10 miles a day. And COVID and some injury caused me to stop walking daily. Well, I picked it up a couple days ago and I went on a just a 2 mile stroll and my legs are sore. My hips are hurting at night. And I was telling my husband, okay, I'm out of shape and out of practice. And I need to put in the discipline to get back to a simple 2 mile walk where it doesn't hurt. And then I can start building back up to where I need to be. Well, when it comes to conquering something like calculus or something like history or science, there will be a fundamental level of, wow, we better get this in place before we march forward. And so in this battle plan, we're going to go through all of the parts and pieces. We're going to identify the problem. We are going to look at it through the right lens, right? We look at things when we're teaching like this way too close. And we need to step back and we need to look for purpose in what it is we're teaching. And then we need to look around and find the right tools and materials and help so that we can design a path that will help our child actually move forward and learn. You know, it doesn't make sense that every child on the planet learns how to dance on point like a pre-med ballerina. And that makes perfect sense. A ballerina goes through years and years and years of dedication and training, hard work, sweat, tears, blisters, until they graduate into things like on point. Calculus to me is like on point when it comes to mathematics. It's one of those things that unless you have that solid foundation and all of that muscle memory in place, then if you just strap on the calculus shoes and you go for it, you're going to fall right into the orchestra pit. And so something like calculus requires a battle plan, because if your kid's not a mathematician, then they're pursuing this higher class. If they get to something like this, they're pursuing the class for another purpose. My son is taking this class because it's part of what he perceives as a good path to help him toward the next stage in his college career. I tried to talk him out of calculus at this stage because when I look at him, I see other things that are bubbling to the surface, and he still is pushing through it, and that's okay. So this stage, he still has time to make the class successfully, but not if he continues with the water in the boat. So battle plan. If you want to be able to look at your child's curriculum or their academic progress, and when you see a challenge, to be able to push the curriculum aside and then to create a strategic battle plan. If you want to be a part of that, then please just shoot me an email so that when I have it all said and done and it's all packaged, I can actually invite you inside. Know that nothing that is challenging just happens, right? You don't bail out of a boat just because you think, oh, I want the water to be gone. No, you got to start bailing the water or you're going down. And the same thing is when your kids trip up academically. Number one, it's not the end of the world. But number two, there are other lessons in there. There's, well, how do you eat this elephant one bite at a time? My dad would say. How do you take where you are and map the destination so that you at least survive the journey, right? This very, very powerful valuable life lessons that honestly have nothing to do with limits and derivatives, words that I didn't know until this morning at 4 o'clock in the morning. It's like I know more about calculus now than I ever wanted to know in my life. So, anyway, if you're interested, shoot me an email and I will see you soon.